Hello everyone, welcome to Club Nights here on Club at 22 The Rangers podcast on Monday the 29th of July 2024. Club Nights is a little bit early tonight. I have other things I have to do later on this evening, so instead of not being on at all, I thought I would come on a little bit earlier, but being it called Club Nights, well, it's not quite night time, but there you go. At least I am here. And yes, I am back from Berlin. I survived barely, still very much feeling the effects of it today. Alistair and I had a rather good trip over there. An eventful trip, it always is. There's always something that happens when you go away to watch away to watch the famous. And yeah, we brought, I think there's about 5 parts, I think, over on our gold tier on Patreon. So to hear all about our trip, you can head over to get signed up to that, and you can hear Alistair and I's thoughts on our trip to Berlin. From getting locked in what we thought was a rooftop bar because there was no handle on the other side of the door, to cancelled flights, and to meeting Leon Balogun. That's pretty much the full scope of that. But Alistair and I will, I'm sure, discuss it more once him and I are back on a podcast together. But yeah, a really good trip. But I am very much glad I took an extra day off the 9 to 5 to gather my thoughts today, to compose myself, to recover, in order to get myself ready to go back to work. And speaking of our Patreon, it's the official week of our launch. We launch on Saturday the 3rd of August, where all of our content will be moving to Patreon, all barring Club Live on a Friday night, which will forever be free. But for all your usual content, your reaction pod, your club deck corners, as well as lots more that are coming and planned, you can head over to our Patreon and get signed up there. The link for that will be in the description below me, somewhere in the description box. And yeah, we would love to see you over there. Absolutely love to see you over there. And this is just an example. This show is just an example of the things we're going to do. Club Nights is probably a bi-daily show where we'll come on and just bring reaction. Be myself, one of the lads with me, just bring reaction to the latest talking points with Rangers. So yes, head over to our Patreon, get signed up, and make sure you're there with us for next season. There's a lot of Rangers stuff to get through today. There is a lot, hence, as I say, why I've chose to come on, because there is a lot of stuff to be speaking about. And I'll start with the signing of Václav Černý, who joins on a season-long loan deal. A statement on the club website said, Rangers Football Club are delighted to announce the signing of Václav Černý on a season-long loan from Wolfsburg, subject to international clearance. The winger, who spent the summer at Euro 2024 in Germany with the Czech Republic, becomes the latest addition to Philippe Clements' squad ahead of the 24-25 season. On signing for Rangers, he said, "It is a very nice day for me. I'm happy to be here and I can't wait to get started. Obviously, from the first talks with the manager, it gave me a very good feeling, and from there on, I would say it went pretty fast. I was happy about the contact and just couldn't wait to come down here and be here and experience it all." So yes, an addition for the right hand side, I suppose. He ticks a lot of boxes for me. Kind of mid-20s, a left-footed right winger, if you like. Looks like he could be cutting inside, he could be staying out wide, but a position that we've needed addressed for, I don't know how long. Probably Candeias, honestly. Probably Candeias is the last time you could really have said that there was a definite starter on that right-hand side of our attack. And yeah, it's a good deal for Rangers. I think it is a good deal for Rangers. No hint of obligation to buy or option to buy. There's nothing that being released. Don't know if that's included of this. Truly is just a season-long loan deal, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yes, a much welcomed addition to the squad, I think. Yeah, it's good to be getting a face in. We're all kind of desperate now to see more players go, more players leave. We're expecting business to kind of, looks like it's going to be kind of one out, one in as we stand just now, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. We've got to deal with the cards that we've got to play with the cards that we have. Sorry. So I think the addition to this is a good signing. It's a good signing. I think pushes players like McCausland, Scott Wright, because he is still here, it pushes them down a bit, because I fully expect Cerny to come in and start immediately. I think it's a wee bit unlucky that he didn't get to go on the trip to Berlin, just due to the international clearance, and that a couple of days earlier he could have possibly been there and we could have seen first glimpse of him. But I would very much expect him to be probably starting on Saturday. I'm not going to lie. That's probably, I think that's probably a real possibility that he will start on Saturday. But a good signing, a good bit of business. And yeah, let's hope we get the best out of him for this next year, and he can be a welcomed addition to our front line. But he does look like an attacking player. Very attack minded anyway, and we have to hope that he brings numbers, stats to the game that we have been sadly lacking on that right hand side for too much time, and the over reliance on James Tavernier from the right hand side to do things, to get things going, to get the numbers, to get the stats, assists, whatever else, goals. You have to hope that Cerny's been brought in to replace that, or either add to it, because again we don't know the full story about what's going to happen with Tavernier going forward. I suppose if you want to watch, go to our Patreon and get signed up, you'll hear Alistair and I's reaction to what we thought was probably one of the worst I've ever seen James Tavernier playing for Rangers on Saturday against Union Berlin. But yeah, no, welcome to Cerny, and looking forward to seeing him being involved in Saturday, because I fully expect him to be there. Just before I come on, Clements spoke to Sky Sports ahead of the league season. He said, "This is a rebuild, not a renovation. The core of the team left, and you won't find one fan who is happy, as they always want more, which is normal. That is football. We are slightly behind due to the Euros, and the club are working within a budget. There is not only short term, it is long term. Different details make it different than I first thought. Things like contracts expiring, some that left we wanted to keep, but they could get more money elsewhere. The door was open for Cantwell, but we did need to focus on the guys who are totally with the club. However, if we believe in the quality of the player, then my door is always open. We have made good steps in pre-season. Some that people might not see, players getting full seasons that they didn't previously get. Positives in the fact that Danilo and Cortez are making progress, but they're not quite there yet, but they're working their way back to full fitness. We are still very busy in the transfer market. Everyone is aligned on what we need to do, but timescales, you cannot control that. I am positive that we can get a good start to the league season." And he was also asked about Shankland, but very much said he had nothing to say about it. He must be sick to the back teeth of talking about that. And he finished with, "All the effort will go into winning this league. We are doing a small renovation, but also have a big rebuild. Give us time to build our house, and we'll be in a much stronger position than we were 6 months ago." Yeah, I mean, there's not much more Clement can say just now. I think he's trying to temper expectations and the fact that how quickly we want business done. It isn't a case of playing the computer, but I'm not complaining about people being impatient, because I am. I very much want the business to be happening now, and it's not yet. I think we are still quite a bit behind. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of work needing done to the squad. There is still room for at least 4, if not 5, starters to come into this squad. I believe we're short in many areas, and I do think Saturday highlighted quite a bit of one of the main areas that I believe needs done maybe first. And it's amazing how quickly that can shift, because we were screaming for attacking players. Okay, Cerny's come in, I do understand that. Iganami's came in, again, I understand that, but I'll come back to that, as I'll come on to speak about Dessers as well. But the defensive line is, it's all over the place. It really is bad. The goals we conceded, I get the one, it didn't look like a penalty to me. I've seen it back, still don't think it's a penalty. And the other one looked like it was offside. And one of the other goals looked like it was offside. The other 2 goals we conceded, it's just fundamentals of football. It's not tracking men. It's not being switched on. And I get it that it's pre-season, but it's the game before our league season starts. You would expect these things to be there, and they weren't. Jeffrey looked good at points, I thought. Going forward, he looked decent. Defensively, worried, very, very worried about him. But I think he's a player that's going to need time to develop and to get used to how Clement wants to play. But the centre halves needs addressed. Connor Goldson has left. It's not been it's all but confirmed. He will not be playing for Rangers next season. And it's going to be straight into the market for a centre back. This one in, one out thing. We have to go and recruit a commanding quality centre half that is probably going to partner Souttar, you would imagine. Souttar. Ben Davies is not good enough. He just isn't. And it's nothing. I think he would do okay against, with all due respect to lesser opposition in the Scottish Premier League. But for me, no. If to have real ambitions as a football club, we have to be doing something better than Davies, unfortunately. He's not good enough. And Souttar, don't get me wrong, I've got my concerns about him as well, but I think he's the better of the two. Souttar gets caught under the ball too much. It's something that he needs to learn. It's been happening for far too long. He just gets caught under the ball far too often, and it happened a few times at the weekend there. So it's something that he needs to get better at, and he needs to get better at it quite quick. James Tavernier, make the decision whether he's here or he's going, because he just looked like a guy that was all over the place on Saturday. I know he's working at a different pace than the rest of the team in terms of pre-season, and his pass to Lawrence for the goal was great. It was a fantastic pass. However, I've got the real feel that James Tavernier doesn't have it in him anymore, that he physically can't do it anymore. I think he's maybe reached, you've got to remember what we've seen from towards the end of from Christmas towards the end of the season. It just looks like he's reached the end of a cliff to me, and once that goes, there is nothing you can do to bring it back, unfortunately. Yeah, respect him all and everything that he's done, but I do believe that it's time that James Tavernier moves on. I think everybody's pretty much the same boat as that, and then obviously that opens the door for possibly Sterling to come in at right back. Again, Sterling's a wee bit of a concern for me, just due to the injury proneness. He seems to always be picking something up. On that, Clement did say after the game that he's doing a full pre-season, and it's a different pre-season than he's ever had before. Clement is obviously really trying to push him hard because Clement likes him, but it's another wee injury where it's going to broke him down. I would hope he'll be fit for Saturday, and if he is fully fit, it's going to be interesting to see what Clement decides to do. We're yet to know really for sure how good Sterling can be at right back. We've seen him in bits and bobs there, but getting consistent runs in that position, we're yet to see what he'll offer the team going forward. So I'm intrigued to see that. But as far as if I had to make the choice right now, it would be Sterling all day long. Because as I say, apart from that pass that Tavernier did make for that Lawrence goal, Tavernier was all at sea, absolutely all at sea. He was awful. He was truly, truly awful. And I do think it's not a pre-season thing. I believe that I think he's reached the end of his end of his capabilities really to play at the level that we require him to. And unfortunately, time waits for no man in football. James Tavernier's played a lot of football over the last 9 years, how long he's been with this football club. A lot of football. He's got a lot of miles on the clock, and eventually they're going to catch up to you. They are going to catch up to you. So yeah, I think it's time for the change to happen there. In terms, I say, Clement, the rebuild, the renovation, I can understand where he's coming from with that. I think he's wanting short-term fixes, and he's wanting to also look at long-term. I do think right now we're going to have to be patient. I've said this a few times, and it's hard for me to try and kind of say everybody to be patient when I'm not patient in terms of watching Rangers. But now we can't continue with this manager merry-go-round. So Clement's working within the restraints of what he has, and to chop and change a manager if the results don't go away, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow. It really is going to be difficult, but we need to try and give the guy time, unless it's like unbelievably shocking and you can see that there's a clear disconnect or something's clearly not right. I think we're going to need to give him time, and it could be, I'm hoping, some short-term pain for some long-term gain. That's what you've got to hope for. But you can see he's very much trying to plead for patience. In terms of the business that we're doing, and I think he thinks that even some players' pre-seasons have still got 2-3 months to run yet, and you're probably looking at players like Cortez, like Danilo, that have been out for that length of period to come back to real full fitness. So quite a bit of a way to go yet, but we need to hope we've got enough and we've done enough, and we need to hope that the new signings that are made, hopefully in the next coming days, are ready, because we have a deadline in a couple of days for the Champions League. So you would like to think there'll be some serious business done within the next kind of 24 or 48 hours. That's what I would hope for anyway. Because it is the 1st of August, which is obviously Thursday, which is the deadline for the registering players. You can make a few changes, but your core and your your squad, your kind of guts of your squad have to be registered by then. So let's hope business is coming. Dessers spoke to the media after the draw with Union Berlin. He said he was delighted to get 2 goals against a good team. Said he is coming into this season after scoring over 20 goals last season, so it's a different feeling for him. On the arrival of Cerny, he said he is a quality player and maybe a profile we don't currently have at the club. He's good with his left and his right foot. His ability to be a winger and be an inverted winger, so he's looking forward to playing with him. He spoke highly of the squad currently and said that we've got quality and everyone is improving ahead of the season start. And he was asked about competition for places with Danilo coming back to full fitness. He said that it can only be a good thing and he wants most of all just to win football games. He says sometimes in Scotland you play five defenders for 70 minutes, so hopefully he can provide something different. He wants to be here for many years in terms of staying in Scotland. He feels like he's settled in Glasgow and he wants to win trophies with us. On his own future, he said the speculation and rumours around him, he sometimes made a wee dig about things about, you're still here because of the amount of kind of rumours there has been. But as it sounds like a guy that very much wants to stay where he is. But I suppose he's going to say that, isn't he? When he looks like at Olympic, he's going to be a first choice striker going into the league opener. And that kind of brings me on to what I was going to speak about in terms of recruitment. I was thinking we were all screaming for a centre forward, but as of right now, we do have 3. Iganami, obviously, we've not seen, or Igaman, we've not seen him, so you can't really judge him. Danilo's not ready. He's clearly not ready. It's going to take time for him to get back to full fitness, and there's more than one that have reservations about his ability to be our number 9 as well. So it's going to be Dessers. Dessers is a well-spoken guy, lovely guy, don't get me wrong, but it's the frustrating bit with Dessers that you can never get away from. The goals that he scored on Saturday were top drawer, absolutely brilliant, exactly what you want from your striker. Round the keeper for one of them, goal, puts 2 defenders on their arse for the second one, through the keeper's legs, goal to make it for his second one. He's a conundrum. He really is. I think I can't deal the majority of what I've seen in pre-season just frustrated the life out me with him, and then on Saturday he goes and does something like that. It's the consistent bit that we're not going to be able to get from him, and that's the bit that we're all probably thinking we can't really rely on this guy. And I'm one for that. I think if you get your money for Dessers back, you sell him and you reinvest it in a different striker. But then it also brings me on to the Shankland rumour as well. I'm not 100% convinced that Shankland is the answer. And I'm also not convinced that just because we all think he's better than Dessers, that's acceptable to be a Rangers player. I think Shankland would score goals for us, but I'm for one, I don't understand the clamour. I really don't. I also think that it's went for so long now that it's almost not destined to fail, but there'd be so much pressure on him to come here and succeed immediately that he wouldn't be given any sort of time to try and settle. Is he a better option than Dessers? Yes. Is he worth the investment? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Honestly, I'm not. I think Hearts would be quite difficult to deal with. They're in no position that they need to sell him. So I think Hearts would be difficult to deal with, and I believe we could probably go and get a better option elsewhere. I think we could. But it's not taken away from. I would still be delighted if we did make the signing, but it's just a difficult one for me to get fully on board with it, because I believe it's just a case of us desperately wanting somebody other than Dessers. I think Shankland would be great, and I think he would have been great when we had the chance to sign him previously, but now I just feel like it's gone that far that there would just be an expectation surrounding him, and I would believe it would be quite difficult for him to reach the heights that some think that he will if he was to play for Rangers. It's almost like when a player's out for so long and he comes back, you've kind of got false hope and expectations surrounding him. I think it's kind of the same way of thinking that would fall into Shankland. I don't know if there's any solid interest there. It doesn't look like Clements getting dragged into anything, and I definitely didn't want to make comment about him ahead of the game against Hearts on Saturday. So I think I'm not sure how much is that. I'm honestly not sure how much is in it, or if it's just a continuous easy link. But I believe that we could do better than that. I understand he would meet the quota and whatever else that we would need. But I've always said if it was between 2, and I understand Majowski would probably be more. Majowski would be the one that I would chase. maybe it's just a case of that I think he would be a better option because I believe he's a better player than Shankland is. And we can fill the quota in other areas. Just my opinion. I know some will not like that, but it's just my opinion that I believe we could be expecting better, and I just don't believe that he would be the out and out answer for us going forward. Yes, he would score goals for us, but yeah, I just repeat again. I suppose that I don't think just because we think he's better than Dessers means that we sign him and put the money into him that we would need to. Moving on now, just a few things to fire through before I finish up. Joe Jordan deal is off. That was confirmed by Chris Jack of the Rangers Review last night. That deal doesn't look like it's happened, contrary to reports that looked like the deal was close. A difficult one, that. I think we were all getting a wee bit excited about that one. There was a lot of build-up and hype happening there. And it still means we're looking for a six. It really does, with Raskin's injury being the way it is, unfortunately. Picking up, being on the end of a really bad tackle. It's very unfortunate for him. I think it still leaves us short, and I still think we need to address the kind of six, and I believe that's an area. The six, the two centre half positions, I think needs to be addressed, and a six need to be addressed. And I'm intrigued to see what if we get a proper number six, how Clement chooses to line up. Is he still going to stick with a 10, or is he going to go to more maybe 2 8s in terms of Diomande and Barron? I think it looks like he's trying to get Diomande further forward already, but I'm hoping to get Adam on, Adam Thornton on, tactics man, as I'll call him. I'm hoping to get him on soon, and we'll kind of have a bit of a chat about what he expects and what he's seen in terms of the way that we are playing, to see if he sees there's anything different or there's a chance of anything different coming up. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That'll be over on our Patreon, and yeah, hopefully that will be either this week or beginning of next. That's what I am hoping. But yeah, Joe Jordan deal is off. Goodbye to Sam Lammers. Hallelujah. That's one that I thought wasn't going to happen. He's went to 20 again. It looks like there must have been a compromise there with in terms of what he's doing with his wage structure, because that was the sticking point, that I think he was asking for too much wages and 20 didn't want to pay it. So it looks like there's been a compromise made there. No ill will to the guy, just was never going to happen for him here. I'm delighted I don't need to watch him again, as will many of you be. I'm delighted that I don't need to watch him again. We seem to have got not bad business back for it. Cut your losses, let him go, cheery bye, nail luck to you, Sam Lammers, and have a good career. But yes, just a player I was delighted she confirmed that we definitely left, and we've managed to get something back for him. And yeah, I think that's an important one for the books, because again, that is another 28-30 grand that you've just freed up, because that's the ridiculous wages that he was offered by the previous manager who recruited him. Ridiculous. So yes, Lammers is away. Rangers will play St Johnstone in the Premier Sports Cup, which means there'll be another game at Hampden. The tie is due to be played on the 17th or 18th of August. So another trip to Hampden that most of us don't want to make. But again, it is what it is. By that point, it might start to feel normal that we're playing football there. I very much doubt it. And yeah, no update so far on the stadium or when we can expect back from that. We are due to hear from Bennett, actually. Ali mentioned to me that yesterday. That must be happening this week at some point, because he did say he would be releasing something. So no doubt I'll have recorded this and they'll come straight out after it. But yeah, we are expecting to hear from Bennett, so we'll be interested to hear what he's got to say there. And also, just to finish up, the third kit was launched. For me, it's a belter. I absolutely love it. You know, I like the kind of crazier stuff that the Rangers do, but Alistair and I seen it on Friday morning when we were going through the departure lounge at Glasgow Airport at the Rangers shop. Seen it, it's very nice. I do very much like it. It is one I will be purchasing. And I'll openly say this as well. The home top and the away top, I went to try both of them on at the Rangers store. I was not impressed with the quality of them at all. I really wasn't. Didn't think they were good. And I've chosen not to buy them. And that's the first time in a long time that I've done something like that. So, no, I wasn't a big fan of them at all. Not a big fan of them at all. So, but the third one, I do really like. Didn't really get a chance to have a try it on or anything, because we were just quickly going past it as we were going for the flight. So, but yeah, seen it in person, love it, absolutely love it. Yeah, and I've seen a couple of bears actually wearing it when we were over in Berlin. So yeah, absolutely love it. That'll do me for today. This week we've got quite a few things coming up. Hopefully, all things going well. I think Nicky's recording a show tonight. Start of his series will be starting tonight, which is called Club Spotlight, which will be a spotlight on a player, a past player. You'll have a guest on to discuss their career, their achievements at Rangers. That will be for our gold tier members. Later this week, we're hoping to get a Viceroy pod recorded, potentially Thursday, I think, maybe Wednesday. We're going to get a Viceroy pod recorded with at least 2 or 3 of us, not at least 3 or 4 of us anyway, to hopefully make that. We'll, of course, will be back with Club Live on Friday, which will be on YouTube, and then, as I say, the official launch is Saturday for our Patreon, sorry. So we'll be up and running officially from then, and that's where you'll get our reaction pods and everything else of the likes of your usual Club at 22 content. So very much hope to see you all there. That will do me for today. I'm away for a lie down while I still recover from Berlin. I have been Scott Carney. This has been Club Nights, and this is Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.